Hi everyone, my name is Vikram. I'm a civil geotechnical engineer in Australia. Today I'm joined by Duy. He's a German PhD student in civil engineering from Hamburg, and he's visiting University of Western Australia for his research project here at our research center. So I wanted to take this opportunity to ask him some questions about pursuing PhD in Germany. Now that he has got experience from both places, he has spent about 2.5 months here in Australia, has interacted with lots of professors, several PhD students here, so he knows what is the differences between the two systems, and I think it would be really helpful for many international students looking for opportunities in different countries for pursuing a PhD degree in civil engineering. So, welcome, Duy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Vikram. So, hi everybody. I'm happy to be here. Hallo zusammen. Ich bin's Duy. So, I just said, basically, hello guys. My name is Duy Dao, and I'm a PhD student from the Hamburg University of Technology. So, I'm a PhD student in Germany. I'm already in my 5th year, so close to the end. And right now I'm here for a research visit for conducting centrifuge tests at the University of Western Australia. My research project is about numerical and physical modeling. I try to keep it simple for you guys. It's about anchor-soil interaction, and spent there a whole year.
Can you tell us what are the key differences between a PhD program in civil engineering in Germany and in Australia?
Yeah, so summarized, very simplified and very summarized, I'd say, in Germany, it's quite very independent. It's a very independent research employee model with barely any coursework. No coursework at all, whereas in Australia, I'd say it's a structured program in the sense that you have a lot of milestones and a lot of progress reviews, where it's quite strict. You have to be finished in 3 years. Sometimes you can extend by half a year, but which is also more of an exception, I think, and also quite harsh. In this time you have to even report more. What I've heard about, the duration in Germany is usually at least 5 years. I think that's the average. I also have had colleagues that where it took 10 years to get the PhD. Examination wise, you have to do a thesis, and
which is
here you can do a cumulative one. In Germany, it depends. Depends on the professor, not on the university. Only if you're allowed to do a cumulative one, or have to write a whole separate work. And at both places, you have to do an oral defense in the end regarding funding, or in Germany, I'd rather say it's a wage, because you have this employee relationship. You get tax-free 2.5 to 3,000 euros a month, which with the course as of today is converted. I would have to look at 4.8 to 5,000 Australian dollars per month, tax-free. Whereas in Australia, also tax-free, you get that from a scholarship, which is 3,000 per month.
Yeah, I think this is the key difference. What I understand, that here in Australia we have is a PhD stipend, living stipend, so it's just to meet your living expenses, 3,000 per month. But in Germany you have a kind of employment, so PhD is like an employment and you get a salary.
Yes.
And, that's interesting.
Because it also includes all kinds of work, such as teaching or working on industry projects, or being part of because you gotta know, in Germany, the lab is usually supervised or led by only one professor. Every lab just has one professor. So you're actually part of the like I think like even more part of the success of the institute, of the lab than in other countries. So you're really part of the admin, you're really part of the teaching coordination. You have to create, as a PhD students, also exams for the students. You have to teach them. You have to supervise them for the theses. So this is sometimes something that other people are quite shocked about, that we're basically teaching, supervising bachelor and master students for their theses. And yeah, I think this is the main difference. Also, you cannot expect that to have like such regularly meetings, like hourly meetings with the professors as you do here. I feel like it's, to me, like still very special, and whenever I think about it, I
think it's very helpful actually.
Yeah,
it's so helpful. During my PhD, I had weekly meeting, so whole team meets once a week, 1 hour meeting, and that helps you a lot to keep on progress. Sometimes it becomes like they are too frequent, so you don't make much progress before the next meeting.
Yeah, which I can also totally understand, yeah.
But it's really helpful getting feedback from your supervisors. Everybody's involved in the project. So, okay. So, another important question is, how does someone can get an admission into a PhD program in Germany? Like, what is the process? Do they need to write English language test or German language test, or is there an entrance exam? What sort of process is there?
In Germany, it's getting a PhD position or getting at least an interview with a professor could be like quite casual. You just like whenever you, the best thing would be like to go on their website of the lab or follow the professor or the lab on LinkedIn, for example, and there they would post a position. So that's the best case scenario if they already have a position. If not, you can always message them, email them, and if they're interested, and attach your CV, and if they're interested, they would invite you for a first interview already, and it can like be sometimes even in a couple of hours. I would say more days. But yeah,
and
like
once you have got, let's say, interview call and you did the interview, does then the professor make decision to offer a position, or the student or the future student has to apply and submit an application?
Yes, they would have, exactly. So they would have to apply they have to
submit an application.
Yes, because like it also like depends on the position, because like it's either industry funded or like university, like I'd say in this case university funded, then you're an employee for the university. So there they have to like do this official process of application and then admission and so on. But this is usually, if the professor wants to have you, this is usually just like a bureaucratic hurdle, which is not really something that would interfere with
it's just the professor's decision ultimately.
It's ultimately the professor's most of the time.
So is there like for example, professor says that he or she doesn't have a grant for funding the student, but are there any other scholarship opportunities through which like the PhD program could be funded? For example, here in Australia, we have like, if the professor has already got some grants, they can offer a PhD position. If the university also has got some scholarships, like the Australian government RTP scholarship, if that is there, so then some students might get that. But in that, the skills of student, their track record, those things would be considered. But in case where the professors has got their grant, they can independently decide whether to take a student or not. So are there any other scholarships?
There are other scholarships, but that's not the, I'd say like this is not the normal thing. It's not the norm. So you can have that, but then also on the other hand, like of course, then in this case, I think this slide shows it. If you have a scholarship, you also just get I guess like the the same funding as you would like do in Australia, which would just cover the living expenses. And also like wouldn't necessarily free you from all the other work that needs to be done at an institute.
Any tips for international students who want to pursue a PhD in civil engineering in Germany?
Generally, before that, I would also say like it's a great opportunity, like also wage-wise, and especially for engineers. Like I know it's not the case for every other field. For social studies, for example, these people are, researchers in that fields aren't that fortunate. So it's a good opportunity for engineers, especially in Germany. So funding-wise and financially, you barely have to worry about anything once you got the position. I think like things you should be more careful about is if you would feel comfortable in that environment. So take a look at the city. Does it provide you with all the infrastructure that aligns with your hobbies? Take a look at the professor, at their publications. Take a look at the team, like the size of the team. Maybe you can also find like on the web page information about the projects or the grants they're having right now. So usually like if they have, I'd say like more than 5 PhD students, it's an indicator that they're quite successful in succeeding with grant applications or industry or working a lot with industry partners. So with regard to that, and then I think these are some positive indicators that someone should look at when they apply for a position in Germany.
Thanks, Duy. Thanks for your time and sharing your experience, giving us more information about how a PhD project runs in Germany.
Yeah.
And those who are looking for opportunities can now find differences in the Australian system and German system and can decide based on what works best for them. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikram. Thanks for having me here.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.